it, which is kind of weird. I think it's less than a minute into the video. Hold on, let me get it started here. All right. Stop share, present. All right, here we go. And I think I'll make it full screen. Why not? Why not? Did you see that he finally got a puppet? He was begging for a puppet, and they made a puppet.
Yes, yeah, I saw his puppet. He better puppets could be coming for him than that, but it was not bad.
I feel like it was sort of a gimme, like he was just doing it to sort of give him one little thing so he'd stop crying about it. Okay, so this is a 4-minute look. By the way, I have to give people credit. If you don't have more than 4 minutes of stuff to talk about, then just make it a 4-minute video. Like don't
pad it up. Jeremy's actually pretty good at doing the shortest of the videos.
Yeah, like I don't mind debunking his stuff because it's so short. I am going to pitch him up a little bit though. We're going to go to 125. I can't do normal speed most of the time. I don't even watch my own videos at normal speed. I totally condone you guys pitching me up. Pitch me up to 2x, might as well. So anyway, so I watched this, and within the first minute, he makes claims that there was that Nintendo did this because of public, I guess, pressure. But then he goes, I didn't see anybody complaining about it. So once he did that, I'm like, there's no point in me debunking this. He basically just said that there was no outcry. So anyway, let's watch the clip.
The nonsense has reached a place that is truly hard to comprehend. But again, here you have a bunch of unattractive, fat people with pronouns in their bio being fake offended over something that no one has ever been fake offended over before.
Okay, so that's his claim, right? That this change is because, what is it? Fat people? What did he say? He has a lot of words there. Fat people with pronouns in bios are offended by this. So that's the setup. So apparently this is leading into, like, this is why Nintendo changed this, because people were upset about it, right? And that's the lead up to it. Here we go.
In a game that came out in 2004, but because it's getting a remake and because they can get attention for it, suddenly they're going to pretend to be offended. And Nintendo, of all companies, is bending the knee to this.
Okay, so there he goes. People were offended, and Nintendo is bending the knee. That's the claim, that Paper Mario is being changed because offended people have pressured Nintendo into bending the knee. So let's see where he goes with this. And I can promise you we don't have to watch much of this because he's going to tell on himself here in a second.
Nonsense. Right here it says Nintendo censor scene of enemy Goomba's cat calling female party member from Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door remake. Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door came out in 2004. Have you ever heard anyone cry about this? Have we ever heard any complaints? Of course you haven't, because it's ridiculous. And
there we go. So if there's no complaints, then why did Nintendo change it? I don't, that's what I'm saying. Like, the claim is that Nintendo bended the knee to activism, but then he says here that he's never heard anybody complaining about it.
Yeah, I don't get it. And you do know why he says Nintendo of all people, because these guys have been talking for a long time that Nintendo does exactly what they want. They don't listen to anybody.
Right.
You know,
and,
so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing about it is that I'm not saying that they should or shouldn't change it. I don't really have much of an opinion because I didn't really like this game. But again, if they changed it because they wanted to change it, then that's something their company decided to do. If your claim is that activism forced them to bend the knee, but then you immediately say that no one's ever complained about it, then I would assume you're going to show me something in this video that proves to me that activism caused them to change it. So let's watch a little bit more and see where it's not a very long video. Let's see where he goes with this.
Yet here we are, and Nintendo bending the knee to this. And as much as Nintendo has been the gold standard for a lot of people, me included, they are not innocent in all of this. And just recently, we've seen stuff with Pokemon. Pokemon Company doubles down on wokeness with job listing for Director of Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Social Responsibility. We also saw the Pokemon Go controversy with the avatars, changing them.
Now, regardless of how you feel about this, I saw a lot of people saying that Pokemon was doing it because they're desperate for money. I've got news for everybody. Pokemon is the most profitable IP in the world. Okay, the Pokemon brand is valued at $92 billion. So I just want to be very clear here that any changes that they make is probably not due to desperation. $92 billion. Now, you can disagree with them with their business practices. Everybody's entitled to do that. I could disagree with anybody's business practice. You can determine where you want to spend your money, but you better believe that any grifter out there saying that Pokemon is bleeding money, they're valued at $92 billion. The company is valued at $92 billion. They are the number one most profitable brand in the world. So
Them over to
we're going to say a little more.
No, I just agreeing.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
not have any real attractiveness whatsoever, because attractive women are a big problem. But
so, Jeremy, are you trying to decide whether or not you think women are attractive in Pokemon? A Pokemon game? Let's just I'm just saying, like I don't think the purpose of that game is like Stellar Blade. I think it's a different market anyway. Yeah.
But let's look at the actual scene in question from Paper Mario: The Thousand.
You notice he skipped over proving that there was activism. We never got to that. We're going straight to the scene here. I'm not disagreeing that they changed it, whether they did internalize censorship or whatever. I'm not disagreeing that they did that. So I don't need to see a video with proof of that. I'm glad he's doing it. Thank you for showing us that it is happening. But that's not the proof I care about. Like, I care about your claim that activism did it. Let's see here. Is there any... Wait, hold on. Go back here. Let's see. Now that he's shown his proof. I believe you, Jeremy. You
shit in this nonsense. And it truly is astonishing that we are at this place. We're in the middle of the Stellar Blade controversy going on right now, and you see people on social media going, well, it's just a small change. What's the big deal? It's just a small change, not a big deal. It's a huge deal, because if you...
It's actually not a huge deal, to be quite honest. I don't see what the material harm is. Yeah, I would say my only issue with it is that if you're going to be an activist, and this includes people in my space as well, that I feel like you have to pick the right causes. And I don't know if the Stellar Blade, if you want to argue that Stellar Blade shouldn't have changed certain things just because, I don't see an issue with that. Like, if you're like, I prefer the other outfit, I want them to change it back. I feel like as a consumer, this was changed and I don't agree with it. I'm not going to argue with all that. I don't like the idea that they're accusing Sony of doing something with no proof. So for me, I feel like that's a step in the wrong direction if you're trying to be an activist about games, for me personally. Anyway, let's see where he goes here.
You've paid attention to any of this, this is how it begins. It's always just a little bit. It's just a little bit. It's just like the circle of diversity. And I've talked about that many times. It's just, hey, we just include us. And then all of a sudden it's, well, then we're going to take your space over. Well, if you don't like what we've done, then go create your own space. And then, of course, they destroy that very space, and then they try and move in on the new space that people...
But what does this have to... Like, he's not proven that activism caused Nintendo to change anything in Paper Mario. And that's all I want. If you're going to make that statement, just show me that that's the truth. And then we can go with that. So, I don't know. I don't mind activism. Obviously, I consider myself in some ways to be participating in activism and some of the stuff I do. But... You know, I feel like you have to have sort of a standard when you're doing that. And you have to just show me something, even one tweet. Just show me one tweet where somebody complained to Nintendo about Paper Mario. And I'd be like, fair enough. It was one person.